Need a boost? Sometimes all it takes is tapping into your inner cool. Icebreaker's gum helps you unleash the confidence within. Each chew releases a rush of icy flavor powered by cooling flavor crystals, sending a wave of refreshment to reinvigorate all your senses. Icebreaker's convenient pack fits everywhere, from car cup holders to backpack pockets, so you can find your cool wherever you go. Grab Icebreaker's gum online or at a store near you.
When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
And I'm John.
And this is Morbid. So you guys might have noticed that was not Ash.
Not Ash at all.
Not even a little bit. We have John on the podcast today.
Hi, everybody.
And yeah, it's that John. Husband John. So Ash is out this week very unexpectedly, very quickly. It all happened in like an instant because she has COVID. She's doing fine. She's doing okay. But I did not think it was really cool of me to be like, all right, sit down and listen to this story and react to me now. So she's getting the rest that she needs. And, you know, I happen to have this guy just hanging around my house. And
I've been asked a couple of 100 times to come on the podcast. And I said, if I come on the podcast, I will ruin the podcast. So I'm not going to come on the podcast. But Ash had to go and get the COVID.
Get the Rona.
Get the Rona.
She had to do it. And he
so
stepped
here
up
we are.
He was a hero in that moment. Because he's not lying when he's been asked a million times because I'm like, come on. Just come on with me. Just one. And he's like, no.
It's not that I didn't want to come on. I just figured I probably wouldn't be very good at it. And I don't think I'll be very good at it. So just everyone lower your standards a little bit for the next hour or so.
It's going to be great. I know it is. And you don't have to worry because this, you know, it kind of worked out because this is my case today. So you didn't have to
really
research
worked out.
a true crime case.
I've not researched since college. I feel like I'm in a fourth grade class about to give a geography presentation. I'm very nervous.
You're going to do great.
And here we go.
Just picture the entire class in their underwear.
Right.
Because it's just me.
No, that worked.
Just picture me in my underwear and it'll be fine.
Okay.
Is it helping?
A little bit.
Okay, cool. All right, so we're going to jump right into it today because I don't want to make John have to speak too much.
Yeah, I mean, 75% of the people are now gone.
No way.
Hi to the other 25%.
Everybody is here. Everybody's psyched for this. And this is a gnarly one today.
Lucky me.
Yeah, you really hit a good one.
Yay.
You really hit a good one because we have a serial killer today, which we haven't had like a full-blown serial killer in a while.
Do I know this serial killer?
I'd probably not.
Okay.
It's weird because I think a lot of people don't know this serial killer. Our UK listeners might know the serial killer better than anyone else will. His name is John Christie.
Don't know him.
So not only do we have a serial killer, we have a serial killer named John.
And you're going to have blind reactions because I have no idea what is coming right now.
And that's kind of great. for this whole thing. That's what we do here.
Let's do it.
Let's go. So we're going to talk about John Reginald Halliday Christie. Again, you don't know him.
Don't know him.
So
a lot of names there.
A lot of names. A lot of serial killers have a lot of names.
Yeah.
It seems to be kind of the trend. But he was born in Yorkshire, England, and I always forget whether the UK listeners want me to say Yorkshire or Yorkshire. I think it's Yorkshire.
Okay.
I feel it. I feel good about it, so I'm going to go with it. Hopefully
Across the pond.
Yeah, hopefully I didn't disappoint you. He was born on April 8th, 1898 to Ernest John Christie and Mary Hannah Halliday. So there's where all those names came from.
Okay.
We got the John, we got the Christie, we got the Halliday. Don't know where the Reginald came from.
All right, I already forgot most of those names, so we're off to a great start.
Don't worry about it. We can just call him like Jackass from now on, and that's an easy way to
Well, I'll
remember
John.
Yeah.
It's the other ones I don't remember.
Well, he was the sixth of 7 children, and he was the only boy.
That's rough and also familiar with a household of women.
Yeah, John can relate to that part of John, but that's probably where it ends, I would say.
I don't know.
I hope.
Well, we'll see what other similarities there are.
Well, his father was very cold, very unavailable, and a harsh disciplinarian.
Yikes. Okay.
His mother was a very overprotective mother who, it was like her only boy, but she was overprotective to like a fault.
Okay.
Like borderlining on like an Oedipus-y kind of thing.
My mom only had one boy.
That's true. But I love your mom.
It stops there, though.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't think
So
she,
we're
I
good.
think she did good. So I'm going to give that to her. But his sisters, on the other hand, like kind of ate him alive. Like
half. Okay. Is this an intervention?
it's not an intervention, I promise. So here's where we're going to deviate pretty harshly. Like we're going to take like
Please do.
a hairpin turn.
Before people I know start coming through the door.
Don't worry, this hairpin turn coming. Ready? Even worse, he started to become sexually frustrated and confused around his many sisters.
Okay, well,
So there's where we see that hairpin
We're
turn
good.
I was talking
That
about.
is beyond a hairpin. That is.
So officially, you can sit tight now.
All right,
You're good.
we're good.
You're good. It's not about you.
I feel way more relaxed.
Here we are. So he hated them because of this. He hated them because they dominated him and they pushed him around. But at the same time, he was like weirdly sexually attracted to them, but couldn't act on it, obviously. Yeah. So this began a
Readjust
long...
myself in the chair right now. This is uncomfortable already.
I gotta go. I feel like it's that like SpongeBob meme where he's like, all right, I'm a head out.
I'm a head out.
I'm a head out. Yeah, so he was having a time. This began a long life of him being sexually sadistic and absolutely hating women. And of course, everyone would blame it on his overprotective mother and his quote unquote domineering sisters. But in reality, it's just him being a shithead, essentially.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. He was unfortunately very smart. He had an IQ of 128.
Wow.
He was a very good student.
Wow.
So he was really doing that damn thing, at least. But he didn't have many friends and was considered kind of weird. He was at the very least bullied slightly. He was bullied, at least. He had a really large forehead, which comes back later. That's the only reason I'm laughing right now.
School kids are just the worst no matter what.
Yeah,
So
it's rough. It's mean. Trust me, I was bullied. I know how it is. Like, but this guy at the end of it, you're like, all right,
Yeah.
like that's fine. And the big forehead thing comes back. That's the reason.
Okay.
It was exceedingly large, and normally that's not something to bully someone over, of course. But like this guy sucks, obviously.
Sure.
Now, according to this book that I was using to research this, one of the books, it's John Christie, The True Story About the Rillington Strangler by Jack Rosewood. At 8 years old, John's grandfather passed away. This was a strange thing because his grandfather was reportedly like a giant dick. He was mean. He was not grandfatherly at all. In fact, John was very afraid of him. But his parents allowed young John at 8 years old to view his grandfather's body at the wake. Normally this would just be like a moment of like accepting death, understanding what's going on. But for John, it made him realize that this man couldn't hurt him anymore, and he was not to be feared anymore. That was the first thing that came to mind. He was like, wow, he's dead. He can't hurt me anymore.
Wow.
So this started his obsession with viewing corpses. He started to hang out around graveyards and actually Rotten.com, which that's the thing. It's like if it stopped there, if it was just because we all went on Rotten.com, we've talked about it so many times on the podcast. I'm like, where's my Rotten.com friends? Like we all did that. We were all morbidly curious, like no pun intended. But this started a whole thing where you'd hang around graveyards and actually tried to peek into broken crypts, which like again...
Yeah, we got to just like type something into our computer and look at it and then click it and be gone.
Exactly, which it's like, wow, how desensitized.
That's a lot of effort for him to go and find some corpses.
And hanging around a graveyard and being like interested in it, I get, because like I love graveyards. I find them like weirdly calming.
But he's still like 8 years old at this point.
8.
Yeah.
So that's like a different thing.
It's a red flag.
I would say so. It's like a very, very deep maroon flag, I would say. And according to the book, he was especially drawn to the crypts that contained children.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. All of this made him happy. It made him calm. This is a bad connection to make to death and corpses, I would say, at a very young age. I don't think that corpses and death should make you, like, go screaming and running. Like, that's probably an unhealthy way to look at it, but like they shouldn't really make you happy at 8 years old.
I mean, I'd rather have my 8-year-old scream and run.
Yeah, I feel like that's...
Then be like, oh, dive into more.
Yeah, like this makes me calm.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't know about that.
Your home should show off who you are. Now is the time to boldly write the newest chapter in your home story. And your main character? It's Ashley. Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. Yes, these are well-crafted and affordable pieces with eye-catching design, but they're also built to stand up to real life. With features like stain-resistant performance fabric, options that are incredibly durable, easy to clean, and stain-resistant with machine-washable covers. Plus, Ashley provides fast, reliable, white-glove delivery right to your room of choice, so you can style your space without any stress. Ashley was nice enough to send us a bunch of new pieces for my pod lab at my house, and when I tell you they deliver it to your room of choice, unfortunately they did have to deliver to the attic, but they could not have been nicer about it. I got, or was gifted, I should say, the Revion Lake sofa and love seat. It's in this like olive colored velvety fabric. It's so nice. I will say it is so freaking easy to clean because if you know me, you know that I have a white cat and a black cat and then a multicolored cat. The white cat loves to just roll all up on this furniture and leave his hair everywhere, but it's so easy to vacuum. I also got the Meili coffee table. So I have that, like I said, in my attic, but I'm ready to order another one for my living room because this coffee table is so beautiful. It has this like antique old money vibe to it. I absolutely love it. And then finally, I got 3 actually of the core stone end tables. They have little shelves in them so you can dress them up and, you know, kind of like personalize them to your style. I highly, highly recommend all of the pieces that I got. And I just recommend Ashley in general. It was such an easy process to shop with them and the delivery, all of that from start to finish. It was awesome. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style. The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details.
Guys, it's been busy. It's been busy with work. It's been busy with family. The kids are in summer camps. They're doing sports. We're running here. We're running there. We got doctor's appointments. We got all kinds of stuff. And at the end of what can feel like an endless day, the last thing I want to do is cook dinner. But when your fridge is empty, that urge to order in and skip the cooking happens all too often. But thanks to Daily Harvest, I don't have takeout temptation anymore. Daily Harvest helps to keep my freezer fully stocked with options that are delivered right to my door and are delicious, nourishing, and ready in minutes, most importantly. Daily Harvest delivers delicious harvest bowls, soups, flatbreads, snacks, smoothies, lattes, and more, built on organic fruits and vegetables. Daily Harvest has delicious options for any time of day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and even dessert. Everything is always on hand in your freezer and ready to enjoy when you need it. I am obsessed with their strawberry peach smoothie. They have a chocolate mint smoothie that John and I literally won't stop with. We go through like a million of them at a time. They also have a tomato and basil flatbread that is chef's kiss. And you know what? Their healthy, clean options, they help keep us on track, especially during busy weekdays and weeknights. We got to stay on track somehow. I don't want to be giving us crap or giving the girls crap, really. I want them to be eating good stuff, getting those veggies in, making sure they're good veggies, and Daily Harvest does that for us. With Daily Harvest, I never have to question if the food I'm eating is good for me. They create food that's both good for my health and the health of the planet by supporting farmers who invest in practices that increase biodiversity and improve the health of our soil, and delivering food in recyclable and composting packaging. Like, right? Daily Harvest does the work, so all you have to do is eat, which I'm for. New on the scene is their delicious Harvest Bakes. For those moments when you're looking for homemade feels without any of the work, they are ready to bake, veg-packed dishes, sizzling with gourmet-level flavors that are big enough to share. You just won't want to. Avoid the takeout temptation and get Daily Harvest. Go to dailyharvest.com/morbid to get up to $40 off your first box. That's dailyharvest.com/morbid for up to $40 off your first box. dailyharvest.com/morbid. So he also became, he joined the Boy Scouts. So he was doing very natural, normal things to do as a young child. He joined the Boy Scouts. He eventually became a Scoutmaster, and he became a Scoutmaster really early, I guess, earlier than you normally do.
Okay.
But he really liked the power that came from that and the power of the uniform and all that. And I was thinking about it. You were a Boy Scout.
I was.
Were your Scoutmasters power hungry, to your knowledge?
No.
No?
Well, Scoutmaster, so there was kids that were Scoutmasters?
Yeah, maybe I'm using the wrong term. They were the lead. They were
I don't know if I made it that far into Boy Scouts.
Yeah. I'm probably using the wrong termination.
Our leaders
terminology.
were just parents of the kids.
Okay, that makes sense.
And my mom was actually a leader of one of our Boy Scout groups. She later told me that it just made the house smell like dirt and farts.
Yeah, she told me that too.
It was just piling in 15 boys that are 10 years old.
Your poor mom. She
was a trooper, man.
She's a saint.
Yeah.
She truly is.
I don't remember kids being leaders. My memory's also terrible. That might have happened, or
I'm probably just wrong. He probably. I know
it's also 100 years ago in England, so it could just be a different setup.
Yeah, it could just be different. So maybe it's a higher ranking scout that has some kind of authority over the other scouts,
right.
Almost like a camp counselor.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
No, I get it.
I think that's essentially what he became, and I think he got a newer uniform because of it, and he was like, hoo, check me out.
Right.
So this need for power probably came from the relentless bullying he was enduring.
Sure.
He was teased as he got, like we said, he was teased about like the big forehead situation. And then as he got older, he got teased about the fact that he was what they said was he was impotent.
Okay.
Now, he could not complete sexual acts, and apparently word got around, and it was just like a feeding frenzy of people being like, oh my God, you can't, like, and it said it was when he was like 15 and 16, which I was like, whoa, can everybody step back for a second? You're children. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty young to be making fun of like people's sexual prowess. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
No, I'm there. I would not do that either.
I'm with you. Now, this kind of bullying, the inadequacy he was feeling about the impotence, and the fact that he was raised by a very overprotective mother and a cold, neglectful father definitely created some other issues in his life and in his mind. He was a severe hypochondriac, for one. He was constantly inventing ailments and insisting that he had every little thing that came around. He was doing it for attention. It was all attention grabbing. He was looking for people to fawn over him and pay attention to him. He thought people would pity him if he had things like random diseases. Emotional manipulation made him feel powerful, and it allowed him to become the victim on the outside, but remain the power player on the inside.
Yeah, and kind of take the spotlight off of his other problems that were
exactly
causing at least rumors or worse in town.
Exactly. Nailed it. Now, John left school to join the military when World War I began.
Okay.
And by all accounts, he was not a problem in the military. He didn't have any black spots on his record. He was not dishonorably discharged or anything. No disciplinary actions. But when he came home, and it seemed like it was like a pretty uneventful, like he just went through it. He came back. But when he came home, he had this harrowing tale that surprised everyone. He told his friends and family that he had been involved in a traumatizing mustard gas attack, which was a thing, obviously, that happened.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Many soldiers came back with PTSD from it and tons of issues. But he said he had been blinded from it.
Okay.
But, like, he could see. Like,
right.
Like later he can see.
Yeah,
like
just an odd thing that even
Yeah.
if it did happen, because why would you believe otherwise?
Yeah.
To have that as the side effects that could pretty easily be disproven.
That's the thing. And he also said he had what they actually documented it as hysterical muteness, because he could only speak above to a whisper.
Yeah.
And it lasted, this hysterical muteness that they documented this as, it lasted 3 fucking years.
I mean, war is crazy, man. I would
the
not
thing. It's
doubt
like-
that could happen to somebody coming back from that type of experience.
And who knows, like you're saying, maybe physically, this was not like he wasn't physically blinded in a clinical term.
Right.
But there is like a thing called hysterical blindness.
Yeah,
that when you go
absolutely.
through trauma, it can happen.
Right.
So maybe it happened. Who knows? The blindness was never confirmed to be or documented to be like clinically true, but I wouldn't say that it's something that couldn't have happened.
Absolutely.
But people around him at the time believed this was all for attention because they said it very much lined up with who he was. But again, World War I.
Yeah, like I
feel like
know
we need to
that
keep
the
that.
story's going to turn and I'm not going to want to like defend this person.
No, you're definitely not.
But right now he's just coming back from war.
Yeah.
Defending the country or helping allies. Like, it's just, why are we not giving him the benefit of the doubt right now?
Yeah. And you know what? Later, you'll find out why.
No, I know.
But
right now, he's only guilty of being excited around corpses.
Exactly. And this is why it's good that you don't know this story, because you're going to hear it exactly how it needs to be heard, which is like, what is wrong here? And then you're going to be
At
like,
this moment in time,
you're just
I'm
going
okay with
along.
John.
You're okay with John. All right. I can't wait until we get a little further into this. So here we go. May 10th, 1920. So we're in the 20s, the roaring 20s now.
There we go.
He married a woman named Ethel Simpson Waddington.
Of course he did.
Yeah, Ethel, you know. So this marriage went sour from the start.
Okay.
For one, he was impotent, which is not like, you know, people get through that. But he hadn't been forthcoming with this information before marrying Ethel. Also, he was a liar. He was known to be possibly a cheater, and he was just a shitty husband.
Damn it. Right when I said that, I was like kind of backing this dude.
Yeah, and then the marriage happened. And
I knew that was going to come back to bite me.
So he's a bad husband. And remember, he has not been in trouble thus far with the law.
Correct.
He has not been like a petty thief, which we see in a lot of these things. Usually we see when when they turn into something like he turned into, you see like in his youth, he would like steal shit. He would get in trouble in school. Like there's all these little things that sometimes don't add up.
Whatever.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't really have any of that in his background. So he marries Ethel. He's kind of a shitty husband. I didn't find anything that was documented that he like physically abused her or anything, but who knows, when you find out who he is, you're like, that probably happened.
So he just wasn't good at being a husband?
He was just shitty, and he was a liar.
Yeah.
And he was just like not nice.
Okay.
He was just not a good husband. He wasn't loving. He spent a lot of time cheating on her with like other women.
Yikes.
He just wasn't great. And when you find out later what he does, it's not hard to believe that he was probably physically abusing her too, and it probably just isn't documented.
Right.
Because why would it be in the 20s?
Sure.
So during the marriage, he got a job as a postman. But he couldn't just hold down a job without doing some shit to gain negative attention, because he is an attention person. So he began stealing out of nowhere, just began stealing packages and began stealing like the money from the postage. He was caught really quickly. And as a result, he went to prison for 3 months because of this.
Wow.
Yeah. During this time, Ethel had a miscarriage too. So this was not a great time in their marriage.
Yeah, this is...
and again, we don't know what happened there.
It's going downhill very quickly.
It's going to go really downhill really quickly.
I don't know why I was expecting this to
I was
go
going to say
anywhere else. But...
I'm sorry I didn't fill you in on what the podcast is about.
Yeah, what is this about again?
Yeah, this is called Morbid.
Oh,
so,
okay.
It's not going to be a happy ending. So 2 years later, he also got probation for something violent that we don't have the details about, but it involved money and theft, and there was some kind of violence involved.
Okay.
So he got probation for that. He served 12 months probation, and he followed this up with 2 more larceny charges and 9 more months of prison time. Ooh. So suddenly he is like just stacking up that prison time.
Yeah.
This is around the time when he left his wife, Ethel, just up and left her. And then he moved to London by himself. At this point, he's 29 years old, and he is back in prison for theft for 9 months. Then he moves in with a woman named Maud, and he goes back to prison for 6 months. And this time he got hard labor. He was sentenced to hard labor for assaulting her.
Oh, man.
This is why I believe that even though I couldn't find actual documented things that said that he hurt Ethel, I am sure he hurt Ethel.
Yeah, what are the chances that this was the first time he did that?
Exactly. And also, he didn't just assault her. He beat her in the head with a cricket bat. And then he was charged with grievous bodily harm, and he claimed he was only testing out the bat.
Why test it playing cricket?
Yeah, of course. That's wild. What kind of... You just come out and are like, you're like, officers, I was testing out the bat. I don't see what the problem is. Like, what? You think they're going to be like, oh, good sir, I'm sorry.
Yes, like, how's the bat?
Yeah.
Would you recommend I get one?
Exactly. It's like you beat your wife over the head with it, you evil fuck.
My God.
So in 1933, he stole a priest's car. Which is like very odd. Apparently they were like kind of friends, and he stole his car, and he got 3 more months in prison. So now
this guy is just not afraid of prison.
Yeah, he's just like, he's spending summers in prison at this point.
Especially after the hard labor stint.
That's what I'm saying.
I figured they were like, dude, all right, like,
give him hard labor.
Seems like you like prison.
Yeah.
Let's turn it up a notch.
Let's make it not a great place for you to go.
He's like, nah, just bring it on.
Yeah, he's just loving it. No one's seeing a pattern here or thinking maybe they should tack on some fucking years to these sentences. Right. Like, they're just like, yeah, it seems like he's on a great path, I guess. Like, maybe so no one's looking at these past charges back to back to back to back and being like, I think we need to keep him in here longer.
Right.
Like, just to see. So in the same year, 1933, he suddenly asked Ethel to move to London and take him back. Now she agreed, and she moved back in with him.
Oh, Ethel.
I know, poor Ethel. Now, John and Ethel lived at 10 Rillington Place, and in 1937, they were still married, but he was now visiting sex workers. He was still cheating on her, and after all, you know, he was having these violent sexual urges too, which no one knew about, and Ethel was not complying with what he needed, and he was abusing these poor sex workers, and then he would just come home to his wife. So, like, he's a literal monster. And at this point, his sexual proclivities were getting darker. He was becoming interested in necrophilia and would and he would force sex workers to play dead.
Sure.
Yeah. So he's, at this point, he's having this, he's still being a shitty husband. He's doing all this shit to get in trouble with the law. And he also has this totally other separate life where he is like violently abusing sex workers behind his wife's back. Now, in 1939, he enlisted in World War II.
Okay.
Now, he was given the job of a war reserve police officer.
Okay.
And that's wild, considering he had been in prison every other month for the past few years before that. I'm not really sure what happened here.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess.
So. For 4 years, he worked as constable, and this is when shit gets really dark. He started using his power as a police officer to stalk women. Basically, he would follow them, take diligent and really creepy notes about their every move, their appearances, document what they were doing, where they were, when he could find them, when they were alone. Later, they found a ton of these in his home, and it was horrific. He was basically in trolling mode, which is what BTK used to call it. Now, he also had an affair with a married woman at this point while he was married to Ethel. This was when he was working at the police station, and her husband eventually caught them and beat the shit out of him.
Good.
Yeah, it's like, that's a yay.
That is fabulous.
We finally have a positive here. He abruptly resigned from this job in 1943 and took another job as a clerk at the radio factory, which is like a very different kind of situation. There's nothing that says why he resigned. But maybe it was getting the shit beat out of him by a random husband. And he was like, maybe I should take this down a notch. I don't know. Now, this is when he had more time on his hands and he started experimenting a little.
Oh, boy.
He began playing with gas and how it could incapacitate someone. This is when he began telling people that his time in the military had given him the medical knowledge to perform abortions.
Oh, my God.
Which was illegal in the UK at this time. So this is when we bring his first victim into play. This was 1943. Her name was Ruth Fürst. She was 21 years old. She was Austrian. She was working on the side as a sex worker at the time, but was also working at a munitions factory, which is like military weapons.
Okay.
John Christie claimed they met at a pub, and he said he brought her home to the house he shared with Ethel, by the way. She was out at the time.
Jesus.
And he said he strangled her during sex. He said he first put her body under the fucking floorboards in their home, but later he moved her and buried her body in the garden in the backyard.
Wow.
Now, this one he claimed was not planned, very impulsive. Now, of course, with John, this excited him. And so he planned his next one immediately. Because although this was impulsive, he's now excited the way it by felt. It. Yeah. So his second victim occurred on November 8th, 1944. Her name was Muriel Amelia Eady. She was his coworker at the radio factory, actually. She was 32 years old, and she was constantly suffering from chest infections and bronchitis. So he used this because he liked to prey on people. Like, he would find anybody's weakness and prey on it. And he told her he could help her feel better. He was like, oh my God, I happen to have this homemade cure for bronchitis and chest infections. So he brought her back to his empty home because Ethel was out again. And he gave her what he was referring to as his special inhaler, or his like nebulizer treatment, essentially.
Right.
He had a tube that was connected to a jar, and it was connected to her mouth, and then there was another tube that was behind her. This tube behind her was hooked up to a gas line.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah. So she unknowingly inhaled carbon monoxide. So she passed out because he just poisoned her. And once she was out, he strangled her and raped her at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. She died while this was happening.
I would like to just officially get off the seesaw
Yeah,
and
I had
get
a
off
feeling.
of the John train.
I had a feeling that you were going to get out of there really quick. It's not a great place to be.
That is just
Yeah.
very difficult to hear.
Yeah, he's a really bad one. So he buried her in the same garden as Ruth. Now, 1948, this is when he met Beryl Evans. Now, she and her husband found out that she was pregnant with their second child, and they were unable to care for another baby. They already had one daughter, a baby named Geraldine, and they weren't really even able to care for Geraldine. Their finances were very strained. They had a very tumultuous relationship. They were not in any position to have one child.
Okay.
They fought constantly. There had been infidelity. The entire situation was a mess. So Beryl was panicked about another child, and she was looking to terminate the pregnancy. They happened to live in the flat above John Christie and Ethel. So she told them about her issue one day. She just happened to be talking to them, and she was like, I don't know what to do. And John told her, well, I can help you. I can help you procure this abortion if you need it. So November 8th, 1948, Timothy, her husband, came home to find his wife and child not at home. So he asked his neighbors if they had seen them, and John told him that he was like, you know what? Beryl had come to me. She came to terminate the pregnancy, but because she had tried several at-home methods before this, because she had tried to terminate the pregnancy herself at home.
Okay.
He said because she had done that, she went septic and she died during the procedure I tried to do. Timothy had a very low IQ of only 70. He accepted this as fact. He preyed on them mainly because of that. He knew that he was going to take whatever he told him and he was just going to go with it.
Oh, man.
And he convinced him to not press charges because he told him it wasn't his fault. It was an accident. I was trying to help her. She was the one who did this. It wasn't me. So, and he told him, you know what? Well, why don't you go to your parents' house, go live with your parents for a little while, grieve, figure out what's going to happen. I have this loving couple who's going to take care of baby Geraldine for you.
Oh, no.
Yeah. But Timothy's family, when he went back to them, were very confused by all of this. And rightfully so.
Of course.
This is a strange story to tell. His mother especially was not buying this casual medical malpractice that he was selling. So she was like, wait, what happened now? Like, tell me the story again. He went over it again with her in more detail, explaining exactly how John had told him Beryl died. And she was like, no.
Yeah, can we just request maybe some police presence here?
Yeah, like this, even if this
Get a
is
detective involved.
Yeah, because it's like, even if this is how that happened, why are we just going with it?
Yeah,
Like,
why are we just taking your word for it?
Yeah.
We need a third party here.
Exactly. So she convinced him to report it, and they did report what happened on November 30th.
Good.
Now, Timothy thought that John had honestly tried to help them. Like, he fully convinced him, like, he was just trying to help us. He had our best interest in mind. So he felt like a weird loyalty to him. So he told the police that it was him, that he had given Beryl abortion pills and accidentally killed her himself.
Oh, no.
He told them he hid her body in a sewer drain because he was scared.
Whoa, wait, what?
Yes. But when they went to look, they didn't find her because he didn't do that.
Why would he do that? He still has a daughter.
I know. So I think it's like him just panicking, I guess, and not knowing. And
if, he thought this guy was doing him a favor, he's trying to take it off him a little bit.
He has a weird loyalty. There's a lot here to unpack for sure.
Yeah.
Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower, oh my God, Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. Okay, let's be honest. I feel like when we were all really first starting our periods, we all had that moment where we bled through our jeans or something like that, and it always happened at school or at a sleepover somewhere really embarrassing. Periods always come with enough surprises, right? So nobody wants a pad that stinks. And honestly, women have been expected to just deal with that for way too long. That's why Kotex is changing the game with a completely redesigned lineup of pads and liners like Kotex BioCare. Kotex BioCare is the first and only pad with the pH proactive system that helps optimize the pad's pH. And the pad helps combat odor and irritants from period blood. Listen, we take care of our faces with 12-step routines, but we're just going to ignore our downstairs mix-up? Absolutely not. Kotex BioCare gets it, and I love that. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the new launch of Kotex BioCare, available in regular, heavy, overnight, and daily liners. Every flow covered. Now available at retailers nationwide. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Some things are inevitable, like allergy season. But while you can't avoid it, you can at least save on your prescription allergy medications by checking GoodRX. With GoodRX, you can compare prescription prices at over 70,000 pharmacies to help you find the best price. And you can find discounts of up to 80%. GoodRx is recommended by doctors, pharmacists, and millions of people across the country who've saved on their prescriptions. Speaking of millions of people, over 24 million used GoodRx just last year to save on their medications, and you can too, whether that's on your allergy meds or any other prescriptions. And remember, even if you have insurance, GoodRx could actually beat your prescription copay price. And you know what? I use GoodRx because allergies are killing me this season. I'm sure they are. Raise your hand. Everybody's hand is raised. Everybody's dealing with that pollen. It is like a giant fog rolling across the plains at this point. It's just attacking us all. And I have saved on allergy medications so much because I'm going through them like crazy. My husband is. Even my kids have crazy allergies now. It's really been a time this year. And I'm telling you, it beats your prescription copay price, which is wild. So for simple, smart savings on your prescriptions, check GoodRx. Go to goodrx.com/morbid. That is goodrx.com/morbid. goodrx.com/morbid. GoodRx is not insurance, but can be used instead of insurance, Medicare, and Medicaid. In 2021, GoodRx users saved 81% on retail prescription prices. And of course they asked us, so they go, they look, they don't find her body where he says it's going to be. So they come back and they're like, we're not really convinced that this is the real story. So can you tell us the truth? And he broke down and told them about John Christie. So he was like, that wasn't the real story. Actually, this was the real story.
Okay.
So they were like, okay. So December 2nd, 1949, they searched Rillington Place because they were like, if it was John Christie, we have to go search this apartment. And after using a piece of metal, Ethel came out and was like, hello, officers. She gave them a piece of metal to use to pry open the shed in the back garden because they couldn't get it open. So she was offering them sure.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't know there's two women buried in the garden.
Exactly. So she's like, sure. Well, when they did this, the smell was unbelievable.
I could only imagine.
Yeah. And this isn't even what you're thinking. So they're smelling decomposition immediately. And there, they found in the shed the bodies of Beryl and baby Geraldine.
Oh, no.
Yeah. When they found them, Beryl was wrapped in
what
a
did you get me
tablecloth.
into?
I know. I'm sorry. I should have warned you for that one. You could
watching
just
Stranger Things
I
and
know.
just in my own world right now.
I know I brought you into
You
this.
dragged me up here.
I apologize. I love you.
I thought you and Ash did like fun podcasts or something.
No.
I'm not a listener, so I don't really know what you guys do.
Well, you're wearing a weirdo
We need to
shirt
like,
right now.
I know. Isn't it weird that I'm actually wearing
Yeah,
a
you
weirdo
are.
shirt? I put this on not knowing I was going to be doing
A
this
guest on the
tonight.
podcast tonight. But yeah, here I am.
Here we
I
are.
am.
Just
This is a rough one.
Yeah.
I know, and we're doing this right before bed too.
Yeah, no, it's like
It's actually
great
like,
timing.
Yeah.
I actually don't listen to the podcast after a certain time for that reason.
And some people listen to it to fall asleep.
I know.
is
And
interesting.
congratulations to them. But
Yeah.
if it hits about 6 o'clock, I'm out.
Yeah, I get
No
that.
offense. It just messes up my dreams.
Honestly, we don't like to record it at night because of that too. So
Cool.
this
So-
is an experience for both of us.
Yeah, all right. This will be the one night that our youngest sleeps.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
been up all night for multiple nights in a row, but
Oh, yeah.
she'll just sleep like a baby tonight, and I'll just be staring at the ceiling with my eyes wide open.
Just thinking about John Christie.
Just wondering why you couldn't do like a fun little podcast about
You
like
know.
fried dough or something.
Fried dough.
I
What a
don't
great
know.
podcast idea.
Like fried dough. I haven't had it in a long time.
Fried dough. This is our podcast about fried dough.
I mean,
I
there's
would talk
podcasts about everything now.
There
I don't know
is.
if you know that.
I bet if we looked hard
Although
enough.
probably not a fried dough podcast.
I don't know. If we looked hard enough, we might be able to find one.
Would you listen? Email in. Do
Yeah,
you
let
want to
us
hear
know.
John's fried dough podcast?
Hey, if you want to hear it, let's do it. Let's go. If we can eat fried dough while doing it, I'm down. So, back to this
Let's
terrible
get back
tale.
on track.
Let's go back to this terrible, terrible thing. So when they found Beryl, she was wrapped in a tablecloth. She was bound, the tablecloth was bound with cording, and she was initially hidden under the sink.
Oh my goodness.
And there was wood planks that were like leaned up against the sink, kind of hiding her.
Yeah.
When they found baby Geraldine on the other side of the room, she still had a man's necktie wrapped around her neck.
Oh God.
Yeah. I know. I'm sorry for that. They didn't know it yet, but on November 8th, 1948, John Christie had knocked Beryl out using his famous gas, and he had raped her and strangled her at the same time, which would become his MO, and she had died during this process. But police were honing in on Timothy at this point. For obvious reasons, he's the spouse. He had already lied. It doesn't
Making the impossible decision.
Yeah. It just
And then it led to all of this. Just
I know.
heartbreaking.
And it gets more heartbreaking with the Timothy story. It really does. And he had changed his story a few times at this point, so they were really honing in on him because they were like,
Remind me again, they already have a daughter, right?
That's Geraldine.
Oh, Geraldine.
So
okay.
now,
I wasn't sure if that was like the unborn baby
No, this
and
is
that they
baby
gave a name
Geraldine.
to.
Now,
Oh, this poor guy. It's
I
even
know.
worse. So he doesn't have a daughter anymore.
no. Now, after the first story he told, he said he killed. So this is after that first story he told. He then went back and said he killed Beryl because of financial issues. They were strained and they got in a fight, and that's the way it happened.
Yeah.
This confession happened, but what we don't know is what led to this confession. We don't know how he got here.
Right.
Because he went from, I did it, it was an accident, I gave her these abortion pills and they killed her, I hid her in the sewer drain, and they were like, no, you didn't.
Sure.
And then he went and said, you know what, John Christie did it, he admitted it to me. Then when they found the bodies, suddenly it turned into, I killed her because of financial reasons.
Yeah.
No, we don't know what led to this confession. A lot of people have a lot of feelings what might have led to this confession. Remember, he had an IQ of 70, and he had told the police John Christie was the one who did it. Why now is he suddenly claiming responsibility? Coerced? Maybe.
Sure.
Possibly. Now, there's also a lot of police misconduct that we find out later in this case that might make you think about it a little more.
Shocking.
Now, Christie was questioned and he denied everything, which is wild to me because I'm like, it's in the shed, but okay.
Right.
Now, I will say, this garden area was a communal area. So I think it allowed them to be like, well, maybe this is Timothy's shed too. Maybe he can use it. Now, he also made Ethel lie for him. So Ethel kind of gave him an alibi. That wasn't true. But she told police, she also told police, she was like, I went into that laundry shed every day, multiple times a day, but somehow I never smelled anything, which they were like, I don't know about that.
Right.
We opened
and
it
how
once.
big is this laundry shed?
It's just like a little shed, like a little garden shed.
Do you think this was like a holding place? He was eventually going to bury them in the garden, or
Possibly, because he's really messy with this stuff. And it just doesn't make sense that Ethel would have been in and out of that garden shed. And
maybe that's just part of the alibi.
Well, and I wonder, that's the thing. I wonder if she was lying for him because she was like, well, if he did this to them, he could do it to me. And I'm not. And it's not like at this time she was going to get a lot of help if she told anybody.
I mean, if she's already willing to lie about where he was, why not just take it a step further and say, I go in there all the time? Like,
and I
the
swear
bodies
he didn't
weren't
do
there.
this. Yeah. So I think she was really trying to save herself here, which it's a hard decision to have to make. Now, the police believed this. They were like, okay, sure. Yeah, you didn't smell it. So they put Timothy on trial. So Timothy's trial was at Old Bailey, which I've had a lot of cases that have had trials at Old Bailey lately. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like Bailey who's like telling me like cases to do. I don't know.
She just wants her name on the podcast.
She does. She's like, bring me up.
She wants a shout out.
She's like, I'm a legend. Bring me up. So Timothy was charged with murder only for Beryl at the time. Because that was the only one who he had confessed to had killed. So initially, that was what they were going to charge him with. It's very strange.
Yeah, I mean, they're found together. What are we doing?
But trials at Old Bailey could take like hours.
Okay.
Like literally, it's a very different kind of situation there. But yeah, so as soon as the charges went through, he suddenly recanted the entire thing. His confession that he gave, that he killed her for financial reasons, he recanted it as soon as those charges went through.
Didn't see that coming.
And suddenly
I figured he just was like, what else do I have to live for? Like, might as well just throw me away for this.
Which I couldn't say I would blame him at that point.
I mean, you just lost everything.
But no, he recanted it, and he said it was a coerced confession, that it wasn't given, by any wholesome means. And he said, no, John Christie did it. He admitted that's the story that really happened. No one believed him. So the trial continued, and he went to trial January 11th, 1950, and they changed it, and they only put him on trial for the murder of Geraldine now. Now, I know you're like, wait, what? Like, he confessed to Beryl. What's going on? But they said the baby's murder was so specifically horrendous, because it's a baby, that they wanted to put him behind bars for it. They were like, this is the one we want to put him away for. Like, who cares about Beryl, right? Like, let's only worry about this. If he had confessed to murdering Beryl, then they believed that he had definitely killed Geraldine as well. It's not like somebody else killed Geraldine and he happened to kill Beryl.
I would agree with that.
So they also were worried that if they only went after him for Beryl, it could be argued that these two fought a lot and maybe she had provoked him into killing her. This is an actual thought process. Yeah. But obviously a baby can't knowingly provoke anyone into murdering them.
Just
so they were
words. I literally had no idea what to say there.
It's wild. Like, the thought process back then, especially when it came to women, was like a real wild situation. It was just like, yes, this woman probably just provoked him into murdering her, but the baby couldn't have done that. So that's a surefire one. Now, Christie was a star witness for the prosecution. John Christie, the man that Timothy had said actually murdered Beryl. Like, what?
Something tells me he was like really good in his testimony too.
Yeah, he was a great witness. And the prosecution was led by a man named Christmas Humphreys.
Love it.
Yep. They literally had the man who Timothy had said multiple times was the real killer as the fucking star witness. They had him narrate the entire thing. They were like, tell us what happened, John. And he was like, well, sit down, everybody. I can tell you. Now, Ethel was also put on the stand. And even though she had told police that she had gone into that laundry shed a few million times and never noticed that smell, now on the stand, under oath, she testified she never went into that laundry shed. Not even once.
Boom.
Not even once. This was never brought up. So this happened. She was like, no, I never went in there. The fact that on record, she said she went in there a million times and never smelled it, it was never brought up that those are two very conflicting statements.
Yeah, so they knew what they wanted and they were just plowing straight ahead.
Yep, that's exactly what it was. And it's like, that's a perfect example of it. Because it's like, it is well documented what she said in that police report. She gave an interview. She said something completely different than what she said on the stand. And that's not Ethel's fault. It's just I think she was abused. I think she was scared when she gave that initial statement. And then she probably realized, I'm sitting under oath. I have to be truthful.
Yeah, no, that all makes sense. I can't imagine John is sitting there very politely asking for an alibi and this is how we're going to do things.
Exactly.
I'm sure he was very threatening and scary in that moment.
Yeah, and she felt like she didn't have another choice.
Can't blame her at all, but the fact that they just gloss over it is inexcusable.
Yeah, and I do wonder too, like, because when you read about Ethel and you're like, I feel like she wanted to get out of there. She wanted to help, but she just didn't know how. And I wonder if she did that under oath to make it something that they should have latched onto. Like, she was kind of being
there's
like,
witnesses
hey.
and there's people of the law there. Maybe she just felt a little more confident to say something. It sounds like she might have been an abused
I think she was
individual.
So I think she was trying.
So sad.
I think it was kind of a call for help on the stand, and
absolutely,
no one helped her. So Timothy was represented by Freeborough Slack and Company. That was the name of the law firm.
Sweet.
And they sucked. In case you were wondering,
they slacked.
How Slack did on this whole thing. Slack was very right. They didn't look into John Christie at all. Didn't look at his background, didn't look at anything. They just assumed Timothy was guilty, his own representation, and they just like went about it like he was. They were like, let's just like go through the motions. This guy's guilty. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, it's less work.
Now, apparently another witness that was brought onto the stand was a carpenter or like a contractor that did work at the flats, the Rillington place. He was the one who had actually pulled like wood out of the floor and like replaced it. And he had actually pulled the wood that was used to hide Beryl.
Oh, yeah.
He had pulled that wood up. So they brought him on the stand to talk about like the kind of wood, when he was there. We need dates. We just want to know when this wood was pulled up so we can tell whether she was there at this certain time or not.
Sure.
He couldn't get dates right and just went with whatever the police told him to say on the stand. He was like, that date matches? Okay, sure, that one. Then he said he had not taken the wood out of the floors on the 11th, but literally receipts showed that he had not done it until after the 14th, which was long after the murders. So that means John went into that shed after the murders before the bodies were found.
Oh, boy.
So it all just pointed to John still, even when they were trying to fuck it up. Weirdly, that one piece of evidence, the timesheet that showed this work and when it was done, was lost from evidence.
Oh, man. What are the chances?
They just couldn't find it. So weird. It's so weird when very vital and like case-changing evidence just disappears.
Yeah, evidence that would just make you start your investigation from scratch.
Yeah, it's so weird. It happens sometimes, and it's a very strange phenomenon.
Yeah, it's just a coincidence.
Yeah, it's very weird. Now, John Christie's appearance on the stand just charmed the jury. He charmed the pants off of them. He was a great actor up there. The judge literally presented this to the jury when he was like, okay, now go deliberate. He presented it like Timothy was guilty before they were even sent to prison. He was like, go deliberate this
Like,
guilty
don't
man's
take too
fate.
long, man.
Yeah, they were literally like, this man, this murderous man, go tell us whether he's guilty or not.
Your choices are murder or murder.
Or murder. That's
Guilty
basically it.
or guilty.
Now, they only took 40 minutes to deliberate. Timothy Evans was found guilty, and he maintained his innocence to the very end. He appealed, but he lost.
Oh, no.
He was hanged on March 9th, 1950.
Oh, and when
Yes.
was the trial again?
The trial was January 11th, 1950.
Oh, so it was a quick process.
Very quick. And that happened back then, especially at Old Bailey and just in that time period. In this
Yeah, it's not like
place.
nowadays.
It was
where-
very quick turnaround to like when you were sentenced to when you were hanged was like boom, boom. It was weeks.
Oh, man.
Yeah. We'll get back to that because his family did get some kind of like a little bit of justice for him, I would say.
Okay.
So December 6th, 1952, John resigned from the radio factory. December 14th, 1952, Ethel disappeared.
Oh,
Yep. What
can't say I'm shocked, unfortunately.
No, unfortunately. Now, what we find out is that John had strangled her while she was in bed sleeping.
This guy is just strangling.
He's
What
a
is
strangler.
going on?
He really is. Then he hid her under the floorboards at their house. He literally buried her under the floorboards in the living room of their house.
Jeez.
He
his own
sold
wife.
her wedding ring for money immediately after. Yeah. Now, neighbors began complaining about strong, bad odors coming from the property. So he started using really strong cleaning fluids and just being like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
So weird.
It better be pretty strong.
Yeah. So everybody was like, all you would smell is like decomp and bleach, like coming from that house. But nobody was
No red
going-
flag there.
Yeah, none. Now, January 26th, 1953, he forged Ethel's signature on documents to completely empty the money out of her bank account. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, it's rendering
Just
me
thinking about the
speechless.
beginning of this podcast. So I'm
Yeah.
like, so far so good with
Yeah,
John.
you were like, I don't know. John doesn't seem like he's a bad guy. Yeah, he's a bad guy. But you wouldn't have been the only person. So many people thought he wasn't a bad guy. And it seemed like for most of his like youth life, he wasn't a bad guy, or he wasn't showing it at least. It really all of a sudden just like happened. He just went wild. So,
No one's looking for Ethel.
well, that's a perfect little segue.
All right.
Because people were looking for Ethel.
Yeah,
They were like, where is she?
Ethel must have some friends here.
She does. A lot of the neighbors liked
Co-workers,
Ethel.
maybe.
Yeah, like people loved Ethel. So people were asking where she was. And John would just tell people that she either moved, he would tell varying stories. She either moved back home or she was visiting relatives, which she did often. So that was an easy one for him to say. Because that's why he was able to get women back to his home, because she was gone a lot visiting relatives. So he told relatives of hers, he couldn't tell them that she was visiting relatives. He told them that she was very sick and she couldn't even gather the strength to speak or write to them. Yeah. Yep. Now we come to his sixth victim at this point. This was Rita Nelson, who was a 25-year-old from Ireland. She was blonde. She was gorgeous. She was very sweet. She was an artist. She just seemed like a cool lady. She was pregnant, and the father had
Oh,
left.
come on, Alaina. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I know. She was
This is
really
heavy.
I know it is. I told you this is a very heavy one. I told you this.
I don't know if you said it was this heavy.
I mean, I don't know how to accurately convey the heavy level of it.
When we're
but
dealing with unborn children,
Yeah.
it's
it's bad. Yeah, it's a bad one. It is. He's a bad guy. But she was depressed and she was wanting to terminate the pregnancy because she couldn't care for this child by herself, but she didn't know what to do. Now, January 19th, 1953, she had come to London to visit her sister. And they were out at a pub. They're talking about, like what's going on in her life when she met John Christie. He was sitting at the bar and he heard her talking about her pregnancy and the issues surrounding it. And he told her he could help her terminate the pregnancy safely. So he brought her back to his home. The gas knocked her out and he raped her while strangling her to death with a
my
cord.
God, this is just.
It gets worse.
Is there maybe like a child is waking up I need to attend to,
You're just gonna leave the
is
room.
the doorbell ringing?
It's not.
Did
It's
you
very
order
late.
food?
I did not order food at like midnight. No, I did not. Now, he left her dead body on the floor with the cord still around her neck and went to bed.
What is going on? I
He
feel so
slept.
uncomfortable.
I know. I apologize.
I get it now.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna make my Uber is here joke, but I get it now.
Yeah, see,
I need
you
to
get why.
leave
Yeah.
the vicinity immediately.
See,
Feels
there's
so uncomfortable.
you have the Ash vibes right now. Usually this is where Ash is like, "Oh man, I'm out."
I just can't. I can't handle
Yeah.
the.
The pregnant.
I can't handle the pregnant. I can't handle the sexual violence.
Yeah. It's
It's
a
just
lot.
too much.
It is. It really is. This is a really
God
bad
damn
guy.
it! I just want to.
This is a really bad guy.
He's a really, really awful person.
Yeah, he's a dick. You can say it. He's a fucking asshole. You can say anything you want about him. Trust me. Part of it is that we roast these motherfuckers. Now, he actually slept while her body was laying on the kitchen floor. Like, went to bed. When he woke up in the morning, he figured he couldn't use the garden anymore because people were probably going to wonder why he kept digging holes in the garden. And the floorboards were taken up by Ethel because he had put Ethel in the floorboards. So he hid her body behind a cupboard in the kitchen where there was a pantry.
Wow.
He had put a cloth around her head and tied the cord around it and placed her upside down in a pantry behind a cupboard.
I mean, at this point, I can only imagine the only people coming into his home are potential victims.
Yeah, honestly.
He's not like
Hosting
having a
dinner
poker
parties.
night with his friends or something.
No, I don't see that at all. February 1953, he meets Kathleen Maloney. She's 26 years old. She's a mother of 5 with a troubled childhood. They knew each other because she was a sex worker and he had actually been involved with a friend of hers at one point. She had been around him several times and she had not been harmed. So she was probably trusting him, at least slightly. She had seen him around her friend. She wasn't worried. Her friend wasn't worried. He met her in a Notting Hill pub and told her he had a flat to rent. And she was looking for somewhere to rent. So he was like, "Oh, do you want to come see it?" She was psyched.
Don't go see it.
And she went back with him. Now, she had been drinking a little, so he used the gas on her immediately because he was able to take control pretty quickly. Then he put a rope around her neck and he raped her while strangling her to death. Like Rita before her, he left her in the kitchen overnight while he slept, but he propped her up in a kitchen chair.
This coward.
Yeah, he truly is. And the next morning, she was hidden in the pantry behind the cupboard with a pillowcase around her head. Apparently, according to the book, he had also thrown dirt and ash on her, which he hadn't done to any of the other ones. I'm not sure what the symbolism was there or why he did that. But he was not done. So
Where's the family members of these people? Are these people being reported missing?
Some of them are, a lot of them are, and then some of them were kind of like distanced from their family because they were, they were doing sex work, and especially at that time, it was something that I'm sure a lot of family members were pulling away from them because of. He preyed on people who he knew he wouldn't have a lot of trouble hiding them.
At this point, I'm just hoping his house isn't very big and he runs out of real estate.
Honestly, because
it doesn't seem like anyone else is going to stop him at this point.
No. Now, the next victim was 26-year-old Hectorina McLennan. She was homeless. So this is what he's preying on, people who are in like bad states here.
Yeah.
She and her boyfriend Alex were desperate just for somewhere to stay or even for a night. And John preyed on this. They had run into John at a pub, and it took a few times of like seeing him at a pub, talking to him. Finally, he asked, do you want to stay with me while you're looking for a place? And they were so thankful, and they agreed.
Don't mind that smell.
Yeah, that's the thing. So, but they get there, and they were like, what the fuck? Because John's place was also disgusting. It was dirty. The smell was unable to be ignored.
I imagine it wasn't this
that he's not a clean man.
Wonderful home to go into.
No, it was putrid, like putrid. So they actually stayed a couple of days, which I believe was probably only to be polite.
Sure.
Because they left after a couple of days. They were like, no. Now, you would think, okay, good. They got out of there.
Yes.
Well, March 6, 1953, he ran into Hectorina again, and he offered her money for sex. She was desperate. She went back to his home. He offered her a drink, trying to loosen her up, and while she was drinking it, he put the gas tube near her because he was just going to try to do it like sneakily.
Yeah, in the vicinity.
But she noticed, and she freaked out. So she ran out of the kitchen, and he chased her. When he caught her, he choked her into unconsciousness with his hands, and then he gassed her all the way out. He then tied a cord around her throat and raped her. He ended up killing her through this process. He put her into the pantry behind the cupboard with Rita and Kathleen. He left her sitting up with her back facing the door in there. Now, Alex came looking for her, her boyfriend.
Sure.
But John denied this. He was like, she never even came to the house. I don't know what you're talking about. So Alex just probably thought she was gone.
Yeah, I mean, what is he going to do?
Yeah. Now, he tried to kill another woman through the same methods named Margaret Forrest because he told her he could cure her horrible migraines, which is terrifying. She didn't show up, though, when he told her to. He had met her out and he was like, meet me at my house. Here's the address. Meet me at this time. I have something that's going to cure it. She didn't show up. And apparently it happened twice that he got back in contact with her and she was like, sorry, I just like something came up. And he was like, cool, that's fine. Come back this day. She didn't show up that day either. Saved her life. So she got out.
Man, just by having cold feet.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't get migraines, but
like,
I see you go through the migraines and I could see how you would be very desperate to get rid of those.
Absolutely. That's why it's so scary. When you hear the methods he was using, you're like, all right, I get it. I get why people were like, all right, I'll give it a try, especially at this time.
Yeah,
it's like things were just different.
He preyed on, people who are really down on their luck.
And people who weren't going to be able to get, because normally, like now we're thinking about it, we're like, no, I would not go with this man to go have my migraines cured. But these were people who also weren't having access to proper medical care.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were having to go to these like back alley treatments. That's the only thing they had to do. And it's like, so they were desperate. You can understand why they were like, okay, this nice gentleman, he was always dressed nicely. Like everyone said, he always dressed like a gentleman. He came off like a gentleman. He was good at getting them to believe he was legit.
Yeah, and he seemed to be willing to work at it too.
And he was
talk to people for multiple nights.
Exactly. Like he would put in the work. And then he was also a military guy. I'm sure he could showcase that in some way.
Oh, yeah.
I served my country. I learned this in the military. I was a police officer in the military. That's going to put a lot of people at ease.
Sure.
Now, the smell of decomposition in his home was becoming overwhelming, even for him. So he moved out of that flat on March 20th, 1953. He did not take any of these bodies with him. He just left the flat.
Just abandoned it.
Well, he left, and then he decided he was just going to scam some renters that came in after him. So he actually brought people into there and was like, yeah, I don't know, I think some mice died in the walls. That's
how brazen. You just assume that no one's going to open a floorboard or look behind a cabinet.
No one's going to look in the pantry behind the cupboard.
Right.
So he collected rent from some renters that he brought in there, but he wasn't a landlord. He couldn't do that. So he just scammed them. And then the landlord found out and was like, why are you guys living here? I didn't have you come here. I'm not taking your rent. And he made them move out within 24 hours. So he scammed these people into coming in, took their money, and then had them kicked out of the house within 24 hours. Man. Now, the upstairs neighbor that moved in after Timothy and Beryl moved out, he was a man named Beresford Brown. And he was allowed by the landlord to use some of John's rooms because it was now an empty flat at this point. They hadn't rented anybody.
Right.
And I think some work was being done to the flat upstairs. So they said, while that's being done, you can use some of those things down there, like the kitchen, whatever. And one day he was trying to hang something and he said he heard a hollow noise when he knocked on the wall. And he's like, this is weird. So when he investigates, he's pulling back the wallpaper. He's making a hole in the wall. And he said, I suddenly found this pantry or crawl space.
Oh, no.
And he came across the bodies.
Ah.
Now, he called police right away. And they were like, well, fuck. Because remember, he had been really involved in the Beryl and Geraldine Evans trial and murders.
I was going to say, they're like, oh, that's
the star
guy who
witness.
gave the great testimony.
Yeah, that's
I
our
can't
star
wait
witness.
to hear his story about this one.
Yeah,
I'm
I wonder
sure
what
it's
happened.
great.
What happened here? So they search the place and they find Ethel in the floorboards, all the bodies in the pantry / crawl space,
I have
and 2 more
literally
bodies.
lost count as to how many we were at this point.
Well, and then they find 2 bodies in the gardens out back, because remember, those were the first victims. I believe at this point, 3, 4, 5, we're at 6. We're at 6 victims that they found, and then we have 8 altogether with Beryl and Geraldine. Now, they walked, so this is wild. So they find the 2 more bodies in the gardens out back. Want to know what tipped them off about the bodies in the gardens? Because why would they think to just look in the gardens?
Sure.
They walked outside, and they noticed a femur leaning against the fence.
Sure.
Just a femur.
Yeah.
It was being used to hold up a rickety part of the fence.
Oh, my goodness.
I shit you not.
Oh,
He
my
just used a
goodness.
human femur.
Oh, wow.
They found a tobacco tin full of hair in his house. It was determined to be pubic hair,
Oh,
and it was from 4 different women, none of which were in the pantry or crawl space. So who the fuck does this belong to?
good night, everybody. That was the episode.
Yep. Now, the coroner determined the women in the crawl space had all been victims of carbon monoxide poisoning and had been raped. They all had the pink skin, which was a telltale sign of the CO2 poisoning.
Right.
He said they all died at the hands of a sexual sadist. Ethel was the only one not gassed, and the coroner determined she had been manually strangled with his hands.
Oh, my God. It's just so personal.
And another horrific fact about this discovery was that he had placed cloths between all of their legs after they had died. Now, this was because death causes incontinence. And since he was raping these women as they died, it would have been a problem. He was a necrophiliac, even though he vehemently hated anyone referring to him as that. He would say, "No, I am not.
Oh, please
Yeah.
do not put that on me.
Yeah.
I am many things, sir.
But I am not a necrophiliac." It's like that. Really? Really? And you are.
You have crossed the line.
You killed women and raped them as they died. That's being a necrophiliac.
Yeah, and made sure they were unconscious, too.
Exactly.
They were
You needed them to at least look dead.
at least act the part.
Yeah. Now, Scotland Yard's biggest manhunt to date began now, because now John Christie is nowhere to be found after they searched this place. John was on the run and hiding. He was watching the coverage about the murders.
I was going to say, I wonder if he saw the flat being flooded with officers and investigators and bolted.
Oh, he definitely saw it. He was trying to stay one step ahead of the law.
Mm-hmm.
Then 10 days after the manhunt began, on March 31st, 1953, he was wandering around the River Thames, and a police officer noticed him and asked for ID because he had made a great effort to change his clothing that they were saying he was wearing, that he tried to disguise himself, basically. So he gave a fake name, but the police had been told that the real identifier of John Christie was a massive forehead. And it comes back. So the police officer asked him to remove his hat. And when he did, the police officer said, "Sir, you are John Christie." I know it. And he was arrested, and his identification showed he was indeed John Christie. He also had on him a newspaper clipping about the murders of Beryl and Geraldine.
Oh,
Yep.
that's smart.
Yep. Now, newspapers at the time, I was looking through newspapers.com because you guys know that's my favorite thing to do. And I could have gone for days more on this thing because there's so many insane articles about this. One of the newspapers called him Mr. Murder. And so many of them that I found called him, this is what the exact phrase they used to describe him is, quote,
wait.
"the balding 54-year-old. That's all of them just start out right off the bat being let's fuck with you.
Yeah, let's just...
Yeah. It's one headline was "Scotland Yard men quiz balding clerk about murder case," which I'm wow, we are really going at him for that hair situation. He was also referred to as the sex mad sadist of Notting Hill. Another paper also referred to him as an amateur photographer specializing in nudes. I looked into this. I could not find anything else about this. So I was like, newspaper, are you okay?
Right.
Like, what was that about? Like, he was not that.
I guess John Christie could be like a pretty common name.
I guess. And this person
Maybe just
writing
found
this
the
article
wrong John Christie.
just like really messed up in this situation. Either way, when they brought John in, he denied everything, of course, until they were like, so we found the bodies in your flat. And then he was like, okay, so maybe I did that. And he made statements about 4 of the murders, but he had excuses. He was like, listen, they were justified. He also, well, at this point, he also didn't realize they had found the 2 bodies in the garden either. So he thought he got away with those. So he said,
because that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, because that's going to be fine. Well, he's thinking, I can explain away these 4 and maybe I'll get out of it.
Right.
So he said he strangled Ethel with a stocking while in bed, because he said she woke up in the middle of the night and she was convulsing and choking out of nowhere in the middle of the night. And he said he couldn't get help.
So he just had to like finish the job quick.
He would just kill her. Mercy, I guess. And he said he then tried to claim that Ethel had attempted suicide, and he thinks that she had choked. He said she had tried to do it again and had choked on the pills by accident, because he found his sleeping pills were empty the next morning.
Hate when that happens.
Yeah, and he had no proof to show them of this, but like his word, important. He then admitted that he left her dead body in the bed for days before moving it to the floorboards. Which I don't know if he thinks that's going to help him here by being like, well, yeah, I left it in the bed for a few days. Now, Rita, he claimed, tried to extort him for money, because now he's just going to blame the women. He said, we got into a physical altercation in the kitchen where she accidentally fell on some rope and died. Yep. So you really thought
you
that
should have
Ethel
seen
one
it.
was
She
bad?
just fell down.
Yeah.
The rope just like flung up,
Yep.
wrapped around her neck. It tightened.
Yeah, it was like a poltergeist.
I tried to get to it, but it was just too late.
Yep. And he said, and you know what? Like, he gave an excuse that's never used. This is a very uncommon excuse to use. He said he blacked out and doesn't remember it, which never gets used by these assholes. They never use that blackout and I don't remember it thing.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean they use it almost every time.
Yeah, he's probably the originator of it.
He probably is one of them. But he said, so they're like, okay, well, you blacked out and you don't remember it, but you just told us that she fell on a rope and died. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, I remember her falling on the rope and dying, but like, that's it.
Then immediately blackout.
Oh, yeah. And he had excuses for everyone, and it was always their fault and not his. And a lot of blackouts happened. He was just blacking out everywhere. And in fact, he said Hectorina refused to leave his flat when he asked her and her boyfriend to, and they got into a physical fight, and she just passed out randomly. Couldn't tell you why. She just passed out randomly, and as she passed out, her clothing came undone.
Oh, come on.
And wrapped around her neck.
This is just a pathetic effort.
Yeah, this is literally what he said. It's insulting. Like, literally,
Yeah.
the police were like, I'm actually insulted by you right now.
Of course.
He claimed that Ruth, his first victim, was over the house when Ethel was away, and news came that Ethel was coming home early. So he's playing it like Ruth and him were having an affair, and that Ethel was coming home early. So John was like, you gotta go. And she lost it and told him she loved him and she wanted him to leave his wife for her. But he said no.
Out
he said,
of everybody's life right now.
Right? And he said, I told her no. And they had sex and he strangled her during it. And he claimed with Muriel, she had come to him and refused to, she had come on to him, and had refused to take no for an answer. So he killed her too. He was like, these women
They just can't help themselves around him.
They're all throwing themselves at me, and I just have to kill them to make them stop. And they were like, is this really like what you're going with? Like, they were all like, we just want to be sure this is exactly what you want to go with. And he was like, yes, sir. So they were like, okay. So they were like,
we're going to charge you with murder.
Well, they were also like, what about those 2 bodies in the garden that we forgot to mention that we found as well? And he was like, oh, yeah, like, okay, let's talk about those, I guess. So they were like, okay, yeah, you did this. You're the worst. So he was placed into Brixton prison while awaiting trial, and he bragged about the murders he committed in there. He told inmates he was looking to have 12 murders under his belt, and he bragged about being the worst serial killer at the time. And it was during these confessions to other inmates that he admitted how he had gassed them all. That's how they found out what he had done, because he couldn't help himself in prison.
Right.
Yeah. And he was saying, I got to 8, and he's like, oh, I just wanted to get to 12. Like, what?
Right.
Are you kidding me? Woof. So he was very adamant about not being labeled a necrophiliac, so like we said. So he told everyone he only had sex with the women as they were dying and not after they were already dead. And they were like, that is a necrophiliac, my friend.
Right.
That's the same thing.
Of course.
That's the same thing.
And let's face it, chances are he did it again after they died.
I do not believe him that he did not do it after. Now, during these confessions, he also slipped and said that he murdered Beryl.
Oh.
He said Beryl had asked him to help her kill herself because she was so upset about being pregnant. So he said he did just that. He said he did that the next day. He helped her kill herself. Now, of course, the Crown was trying to hide this confession because they fucked up, if that's true.
Of course.
So the Crown is like, oh, yeah, we can't let that one out because we just hanged a guy for that. So
who is stating that exact thing happened, by the way.
And now this guy is saying, yeah, that's what happened.
Right.
Now, they could never find the owners of the hair in that jar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They said they couldn't figure out who it belonged to, and he wouldn't tell them. They even tested the bodies in the house, and it did not belong to them.
Really?
I think one of them belonged to Ethel, and that was it. So now they're like,
how many jars were there?
There was one jar, but there was at least 4 women's hair.
And none of them belonged to the victims.
Only Ethel, I think.
Only
was
Ethel,
one of them.
right,
so
right.
3 sets of hair, you have no idea who they belong to.
But he said he didn't get to 12.
Yeah.
So there isn't like 3...
No, which is like, maybe he got to 10, maybe he got to 11.
Right,
and he's just like, damn it, I wanted to get to 12.
Yeah.
And we don't know because he was like going to sex workers a lot. He was abusing them. He was preying on people he thought wouldn't be missed. Maybe one is missed here.
Yeah, or people who just didn't want to go back to his house to perform the acts. And he was like, okay, I guess I'm doing this here.
Exactly.
And then he needed to bring something
you don't know.
home with him.
It could have been a trophy. A lot of these guys like a trophy.
I don't normally think like this. You're making me think terrible things.
I know that I do the stash too.
I don't just sit there being like, I wonder where the pubic hair came from.
No, but here we are.
Like, coming up with theories.
Yeah, theories about this. It happens here. Welcome to Morbid. Now, they spoke to his neighbors during all of this.
This is a one and done, just so you know.
He's coming back.
I'm retiring.
He's coming back. They spoke to neighbors during all of this to kind of get information about what kind of man he was. And wow, were they colorful. They all said he was a nice guy, but they said he was strange. One neighbor said, this is like my favorite one. She said, quote, he wore nice light yellow gloves and used to tip his hat. Broadmoor and hangings is too good for him. Broadmoor was like a mental health facility.
Yeah.
Broadmoor and hanging is too good for him. The old electric chair from America is what he deserves. That would send him off with a few sparks.
Those crazy Americans.
That's exactly what it is. But then she finished it with, that would send him off with a few sparks. I'm like, wow.
Nice.
All right, neighbor. Like,
nice
damn.
word association.
She got very like literary with it. It was insane. Now, before the trial could be set, he had to be determined fit to stand trial.
Oh boy.
And he definitely tried to go for the insanity defense.
I could see that coming.
Yeah, the defense referred to him.
Here comes the theatrics.
Exactly. The defense referred to him as madder than a March hare. That's what they were going with.
Okay.
But the prosecution ordered a psychiatric evaluation to counter this because they believed he was not insane and they knew that this was going to prove that.
Sure.
Now, after all, he had tried very hard to cover up the crimes. He hid evidence that pointed to him, and he had run from the law when he was caught. All the psychiatrists that tested John Christie were repulsed by him as a human being.
Good.
After they talked to him, they were like, he's disgusting and I hate him. Literally, a couple of them said he made them nauseous to talk to. And they couldn't find even one thing to like about him. They were like, I don't know what he does to get these people into his house. Like, that's a different person because we did not see it today.
Wow.
Now, this is when people really thought the whole mustard gas hysterical muteness thing was bullshit and just for attention, because some psychiatrists got the whisper voice all of a sudden. He resorted back to it. And then some got a very normal, very level speaking voice, depending on who he was trying to get attention from. And also what questions were being asked. When it got
Okay.
into the nitty-gritty, suddenly it went into a
I'm
whisper.
the victim here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things he didn't want to talk about, suddenly he would whisper, and you could barely hear him. Now, he tried to fake personality disorders as well. He would try to fake multiple personalities or detachment. You can't really fake that. Like, psychiatrists always know when you're faking it. They all knew. They all determined he was 100% sane. Not one bit of insanity in there.
Good.
Yeah. Now, Old Bailey trial was June 22nd, 1953. He was going to be tried for murdering Ethel. That was what they were going with. Because again, it was weird. They just would pick one thing and like really go for it. There was very good evidence for this particular murder, so they just went with that one. I mean, finding bodies in his home to me is pretty good evidence, but like, who am I? I'm not part of this.
The only thing that stinks is like the justice for the families.
That's the thing.
I'm assuming even if these people are like down and maybe out of touch with their families, once they found out what happened,
They're gonna
You
care.
just want to hear that this person was responsible
Exactly.
and are going to get punished for it.
Exactly.
But I do get the point of like, at that time, one murder is 10 murders. Like he's going to
Exactly.
be gone either
like,
way.
he's going to be hanged if he gets.
Yeah.
If he gets.
It just stinks
this
for
one.
the families.
Well, and apparently, which is like very different too, they were able to kind of bring these other victims into it. They could like hold them off to the side, and then if
Right.
they needed to, they could bring those in. So it was one of those like, we got them, we'll use them. They ended up asking about them actually in the trial, so they did bring them in.
Okay.
Because they thought it would also help. And it was actually his side that brought them in because they thought it would help the insanity defense by being like, look, he's definitely insane.
Right.
Now, he pled not guilty by reason of insanity, obviously. Only a 4-day trial happened. And when the verdict was returned, it was only after deliberating for an hour and 20 minutes.
Okay.
They sentenced him, or excuse me, that he was found guilty, and they sentenced him to death by hanging.
All right.
The Chattanooga Daily Times said about this, quote, "The jury foreman said guilty sharply. Christie's jaw locked and his long fingers groped the oaken rail before him until the knuckles gleamed white. The judge, wearing the little black square cap of death over his 17th century wig, peered at him, and Christie straightened to an almost guardsman stance. He went gray-white as the judge pronounced sentence in level tone." Which
What a fabulous paragraph.
Thank you. Isn't that like amazing?
I just got put right inside that courtroom.
Me too.
I could feel everything. I feel like I could smell the courtroom.
Right? His long fingers gripped the oaken rail.
Yep.
His knuckles turned white. His jaw tightened. Like the judge wearing the little black square cap of death over his wig.
Fabulous.
And they said they could notice that he visibly got cringed when he saw that black cap, which I had no idea. I was like, wow, the
neither.
theater that like they would put this cap on when they were going to sentence you to death. So it's
Yeah.
like you would see that and be like, oh shit, like that is it.
Good.
I had no idea that they did that.
No, me neither.
Now, he was hanged within 2 weeks of this, like very quick, at Pentonville Prison
Yeah,
on
see ya.
July 15th, 1953.
Get rid of this dude.
He was somewhere between 54 and 55 years old. He was actually hanged by the same executioner who hanged Timothy Evans.
Oh, wow.
Albert Pierpont. Now, apparently he had told, so when John went to the gallows, he was like anxious, and he told Albert, the executioner, that he had an itch on his nose that he couldn't scratch because he was bound. His hands were bound.
Right.
And Albert apparently said something to the effect of, "It won't be bothering you for long."
Seriously? Like, that's your biggest concern right now?
What a burn at the end.
Yeah, and
Like,
also
just
what a
don't worry,
like,
it's
I'm
gonna
not
bother
giving you any satisfaction.
Yeah, do you think I'm gonna
I'm
itch your
not
nose
gonna
for
itch
you?
your nose or let you itch your nose.
Like, you raped and murdered women and kept them in your house. You think I'm going to itch your nose for you,
No
bro?
kidding.
Like, no.
My God.
Now, after this happened, so he's gone, the end. But it's not. Because an investigation into Timothy Evans' guilt before John Christie was hanged was already in motion.
Good.
it only took 11 days for them to go through this investigation, and they barely looked into it. It was a very rushed investigation that they basically did just to shut everybody up, and he was found still guilty.
Oh, come on.
But then 2 years later, another investigation was suggested after evidence came forward to suggest the first investigation was botched and evidence against John Christie was blatantly ignored because they
you think?
Yeah, because they didn't want to bring to light the methods used to get the confession from Timothy. They
Right.
were worried that was what was going to come up. Now, there was another inquiry in 1965, and it concluded that Timothy... So basically this one, when I say he got justice, it's not full. They concluded that Timothy strangled Beryl, but not Geraldine, and that John Christie murdered the little baby Geraldine. So...
What are we doing?
Again, John Christie admitted to murdering Beryl several times. So I don't understand what we're doing here. But he was pardoned posthumously October 18th, 1966.
Okay.
Now, a look into the police investigation was interesting. Like I said, you're going to see it and be like, I don't know about that. They discovered that the police destroyed evidence in the Beryl and Geraldine case. Destroyed it.
Yeah.
They destroyed the necktie found around Geraldine's neck, and they had no reason for this.
Right.
There was no reason to destroy it.
They didn't blame it on like a fire or something like that. It's just this particular evidence from this particular case is gone.
Yeah. Also, a lot of the interviews and reports from the case were terribly written and seemed like fucked with, basically. Then there was the fact that they went to John Christie's home to search a couple of times and somehow missed a human femoral bone leaning up against a fence in the garden.
Right.
How did they miss that? This inquiry was led by High Court Judge Sir Daniel Braben, and after reading through all of this, he didn't find anything wrong with it. Didn't think they needed to look into it.
It happens, man. There's a dog bone.
Yeah. Now people...
With no dogs in the area.
No one questioned that. The femoral bone is the largest bone in the human body. You're not going to look at that and be like, oh, that's just a bone. You're going to be like, that's a human femoral bone. It's very easy to fucking point out.
He couldn't find and there was no extra pieces of lumber to hold up. What was it? He was holding up his fence
a rickety
or
fence.
whatever.
But I think he liked it. I think that was his
He just wanted to be able to look out and see it.
Exactly. And it was him further shaming them and further just messing with their legacy on Earth. He was just I can use your bones to hold up my fucking fence. He was so gross.
Yeah, this dude thought he was just untouchable.
Oh, he did, because he kind of was
for a long time.
That's the thing. He was given the power to believe that he was untouchable. So
that's the worst. That police investigation caused how many deaths?
Yep. And a lot of people do believe that there are more than the stated victims because of the whole hair thing.
That's just real. I just don't understand.
Yeah. And there was also
it feels like there's no other way to get that hair other than killing the person.
Exactly. And there was a few large gaps between killings too at times. At one point there was 12 months between. Right. At another point there was years between. It happens. We have BTK to look at for that happening. We have 30-year gap in that one. But
more than likely with this guy, it feels like he needed that.
Yeah. In the BTK case is used a lot of times to be see, they don't always have this cooling off period that is that, when it happens, it can be long.
Sure.
But I feel he's the exception to the rule more than the rule. So we can't really point to that to be yeah, that happens. Sure it does, but very rarely. And this guy seemed to be yeah,
John Christie does not seem like the type of guy that's all of a sudden it's it's been 2 years since I've done this. Let me do it again. Yeah, it feels like he needs to do it pretty often.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's settling back into family life for a little while. Right. He's just seemed like a shitty guy that just was nonstop, and he seemed insatiable, to be honest.
Right.
So I would be very interested to see if more came out of it, but so far nobody else has been tied to him. But that is the horrendous story of John Christie.
Wow.
The horrific serial killer who got another guy hanged for some of his crimes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We couldn't just do a listener tales or something, huh? We just had to go deep. Go big or go home.
Yeah, I feel it's you gotta be broken in like in a big way. You can't.
Yeah, you did that.
You can't just like you like to just jump into the pool. You don't like to like just walk slowly into the pool. So.
I hate walking slowly into the
Exactly.
pool.
I know this about you.
I need to jump in. I don't want to know what the temperature is of the pool. Let's find out.
Did you not just describe what happened here?
Yep.
You did not know the temperature of this pool.
I definitely did not know the temperature. Probably wouldn't have agreed to it. Probably wouldn't have agreed to a late night recording of it.
No, definitely not.
You could have helped me out with that.
I mean, thanks for doing it. I appreciate it. I think I'm going to eat some ice cream now.
I'm going to go retire.
And I'm going to watch The Office. We can watch The Office to get ourselves right again.
We'll need about 16 hours of that, but sure.
It'll be fine. We don't need sleep tonight. It's cool. Our youngest usually doesn't let us sleep anyways, so we're used to it.
Yeah. Ash, get better.
Yeah, Ash, get better.
If you try to make me record another one of these, I'm going to Ash's house and like forcing her to cough in my face, and I'm just going to get COVID. And then I'll just have to stay over there, and you just have to go to the next person in line. I mean, you had to dig deep to bring me on.
No way. I just had to look to my left on the couch. Or actually my right. I had to look to my right. Excuse me. I don't want to lie. I had to look to my right on the couch. But I appreciate you forever.
I'm
and
here
always.
for you.
You are.
Anytime.
You're a ride or die.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was this ride or die, I'll be honest.
You're so ride or die that you don't ask where we're going or why we have to die. You just do it.
It's like, where are we going for the next 90 minutes?
Let's go.
Oh, okay.
We're going down one of the worst stories ever. So there's that.
Cool. Well, I apologize to everybody. I was extremely nervous going into this.
You did great.
Never did a podcast before, really.
You did great.
And hopefully Ash will be back and you'll have your regular scheduled programming in no time.
You will. Don't worry. But this was a fun little detour. And
it was fun to hang out with you for an hour and a half.
Aw, it was fun to hang out with you for an hour and a half.
Busy lives.
Yeah.
I don't know if we get many hour and a halves together, so.
To just sit and talk.
You know, would I prefer some other things? Maybe get a dinner or something? Sure.
Yeah. But, we'll work on that. We'll go with it.
I do what I gotta do.
You do. And I appreciate you. But guys, I hope you keep listening and I hope you
keep it weird.
You did it. And I don't have Ash, so not so weird that you do any of this because John Christie is disgusting.
Yeah, not a great guy, guys.
No, to say the least.
I like things my way, my coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo pre-filled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by Argenix.
You've tried melatonin, the white noise machine, the blackout curtains, the magnesium, and you're sleeping fine. Not great, just fine. At some point, you have to consider the 4-year-old pillow is doing more damage than the magnesium is fixing. Coop Sleep Goods is running a bundle sale July 9th through the 20th. The starter bundle is the move. 2 pillows plus a sheet set, 40% off. And we're not saying it'll fix everything. We're just saying you've tried everything else. Coop's pillows are adjustable, designed to fit how you sleep, not just tolerate it. Mix and match any 2 pillows at 25% off or go all in on the starter bundle. One real upgrade beats 6 mediocre ones. Head to coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy for 40% off the starter bundle and 25% off all other bundles.